So January 1st, you took your pen and paper and wrote down that this year is your year and you're gonna make at least $10,000 from airdrops. So hopefully this is a video that can actually help you out. Why? Because this is exactly what I'm currently doing when it comes to my airdrops. So whatever you see here, it is exactly what I am doing. But I'm also doing like 10,000 other airdrops projects. So what I did is just create like a summary of the top ones. So here there's around 8 or 9 projects that we're gonna be covering, so you don't need to spend your whole day clicking and farming airdrop because maybe you have a family or you have a day job or whatever it is, you know. Let's go straight into it. So number 1 on the list is Hyperliquid. Why Hyperliquid? Because why not? It is the best freaking airdrop of last year. They still have around 30% allocated for future rewards, which actually I think it is like 33 or 36%. Don't quote me on it, but I know it is more than 30% for future rewards. And also the token price is over 10x than TGE price. So I think it opened at $2. And right now it is hovering between $22 or $24. So that means whatever they allocate for future rewards is actually worth way more than the previous airdrop just because of the token price. When it comes to stats, Hyperliquid, they got like 300,000 users, but not all of them are actually active. I would actually say probably like 100,000 users are really using Hyperliquid, which is not a big amount. Just for a comparison, Layer 0 had around 6 million users, and they still did a pretty decent airdrop. So 300,000, 500,000 is not a crazy amount for a project that is worth more than Layer 0. When it comes to engaging with Hyperliquid, just make sure that you're trading with the perps. So doing some leverage trading. Please don't go crazy with the leverage, because if you end up losing $10,000 and you receive $9,000 from an airdrop, which is a pretty decent amount, you're still at a loss. So please be careful with your trading and also with the leverage. Next on the list is swapping. So you do have the option to just swap instead of taking position with leverage. Just try to create some volume on a weekly basis. Use something like $1,000, $10,000, whatever is your portfolio worth, or whatever amount that you can use. Swap back and forth a few times a week, and then you're creating some volume. And last one is staking hype. I do think this part is super important because it shows that you're not just creating volume and then trying to create fake transactions, you know, just trying to get the airdrop. You're actually interested in the project. So if you can allocate just a little bit of money into hype, the token, I would still purchase some and then stake it with the Nansen validator. Why? Because there is an airdrop for them. I'm not saying it is going to be a huge airdrop, but if I can pick something that can also bring a secondary airdrop, even if it is like 25 bucks, I'm still gonna pick it. So once you go to staking, you will pick the validator, and the validator should say HyperX Nansen. That's the name of the validator. Now, since Hyperliquid is a L1, we will have some projects built on top of it. So I'm pretty sure that by using them and also getting involved with the L1 will also help us increase our allocation. Right now, if you use Hyperliquid, your points are not increasing. But what most of us are actually thinking is that out of nowhere, they might come and say, you know what, we have been tracking your activity. Here's some points. Just like they did back in 2024, because they stopped the point system, and then out of nowhere they said, you know what, we have been tracking your points for the past 30-60 days. Here's some massive amount of points for the ones that actually stayed on Hyperliquid. So make sure to just remain active and try to do your best to use the platform, obviously as organic as possible. So Hyperliquid, number 1. By the way, it is not in a specific order, but I just have Hyperliquid on number 1. Number 2 on the list is Paradex. So Paradex is this one. I have mentioned Paradex in the past. It is another trading platform. And what I like about it is that they already have over $1 billion in perps volume. They allocated 20% for the airdrop, which is more or less between June and July. It is confirmed, but they are less than 5,000 weekly traders. So obviously that gives you an edge. Even if the airdrop is not something massive like $1 billion, $250 million, just because there's only 5,000 users or active users, you do have an edge, and the airdrops should be quite decent. Again, trading perps, don't go crazy with it, but you also have the option to supply some funds into the Avantis vaults. I'm sorry, not Avantis. Avantis is the next one. Paradex vaults. Another way for you to earn some points, which by the way, it is based on points, as you can see right here. So season 2, it is the amount that I have generated so far. Not a crazy amount, just 1,000 points. But you can trade perps. You can supply some funds. If you get liquidated, you also get some points. There are multiple ways actually for you to get your points. I think also there are some social activities, maybe talking on Twitter about them. You might get some points, but I haven't done it. Well, even though I do create some content about them, but I haven't seen like specific metrics on if I'm earning points by just doing some social activities. With Paradex, just because of the sizing of the amount of weekly traders and because they have generated a pretty decent amount of perp volume, I do think it can be a quite decent airdrop. Also, just trading, it is not that expensive when it comes to fees, so quite easy for you to push some volume. Which brings us to the next one, or the last one on the list when it comes to trading platform. It is Avantis. I have been talking about Avantis since it has like 2,000 users since last year. And dude, quite easy for you to rank up between 1,000, 2,000 top users, and also there are less than 30,000 real users on the platform, because for season 1 I think they mentioned they had like 33,000 users or something like that participated. So what I do like about it, it is because it is the main per platform on Base. So right now, if you're trading on Base, most likely you're going to be using Avantis. How to farm it? Same process. So that's why I always say, once you understand how to do 1 or 2 projects between the same category, you can actually move to the other one. Because as you can see, most of them are actually basically the same. So trading on perps, adding some volume. So if we go to Avantis right here, you can see my points. Here it is. So season 2, I have 40,000 XP, and then for liquidity XP, I have 19K. That is the amount that I have currently, which I'm just trading perps a few times a week, few times a month, and also supplying some USDC so I can generate some yield and also at the same time generate some XP. That's it. And then you wait for the airdrop, which should happen based on their documents between 2 to 3 months. Hopefully they don't change that, but we don't have a specific date for it. But it should be between 2 to 3 months. So hopefully that's the date. Next on the list, we move now to staking and supplying some funds. So it is Fragmetric. I did a video on Fragmetric a while ago. Currently, total TVL is $63 million, as you can see right now. What I like about it is that it is one of the investors is the co-founder of Solana. So for me, that means bullish. Also, they do have other partnerships with Backpack, with Binance, and multiple others. So I'm kind of bullish when it comes to partnerships. And also quite easy. Basically, you're just supplying some Solana tokens for some points or Frag JTO. So Solana, you have the option to select between Sol, Jito, BNSol, and multiple other Solana. And you're going to be earning some points. I do recommend using a Backpack wallet because you will get a 30% boost. Plus also, if you use a referral link or referral code, you also get a 10% boost. So in total, you're getting 40% more points just by doing these, which are quite easy. It is just something that you do once. And that is for Solana. Now, if you want to use JTO instead, I'm not talking about Jito Sol, but I'm talking about JTO, which is the governance token for Jito. You are getting 4.4x boost. You can see 4x right here. And then if you use Backpack, that is another 30%. And if you use a referral, that is another 10%. So in total, 4.4x boost if you're using JTO. Main difference is that most of us are already holding some Solana. So it really depends on you if you want to swap some of your tokens to JTO because that is a little bit more volatile than Solana. So if you want to get more points, then obviously you can use JTO, but if you want to do it a little bit safer, you can go with Solana, but you're gonna be earning less points. Myself, I'm just doing both, and that's it. So Fragmetric is another one. For that one, unfortunately, we don't have a clear date on when will be the airdrop. By the way, if you stake right now, I don't think you can remove your funds right away. We need to wait for phase 3. So whatever you're adding, we are still kind of early, I do think so. But whatever you're adding, just make sure that it is not an amount that you're planning on using in a week or two. Let's see what else we have on the list. Then bridges, which are my favorites. Bridges is just moving funds from one chain to the other. That's it. First one, we have Relay, and the second we have Layer 0. I'm gonna be using Jumper so I can hit a 2-in-1 route. Maybe we're gonna have a Jumper airdrop, maybe not, but the good thing is we are increasing our points and level on Jumper, and we have been receiving multiple whitelists and also some partners airdrop. Unfortunately, you need to have a specific level, which most of the time it is super high, but still, if you can, in the meantime, just use Jumper and try to increase your points, and maybe if in the future they decide to do an airdrop, it can be a pretty good one, because Jumper right now, it is the best DEX aggregator that we have at the moment. So when it comes to Relay and Layer 0, Layer 0 is confirmed. Brian, the co-founder or founder, did confirm another airdrop. We just don't have a specific date from when it would be. And that will depend on the amount of fees that you are spending. I don't think volume will really matter a lot, but fees that you're spending on Layer 0 is what matters. Don't go crazy. Don't try to bridge 10,000 times in one day, but whenever you need to do it, or maybe a few times a week, go ahead and do it. I would use Relay or Layer 0 just to show you guys an example. So let's say that I have some funds on Base Ethereum and I want to send it to Arbitrum Ethereum. Let me just use something like this and see if we have the options. Here it is. So the first one is Relay. So right here, it will take only 3 seconds. So by doing this, you're triggering a Relay transaction and also possibly helping you getting a future allocation toward their airdrop. Then if we scroll down, we can see we have the option for Stargate Finance, which is a platform for Layer 0. So whenever you see Stargate V2, that means you are triggering a Layer 0 transaction. Most of the time, I would just pick the fast instead of the economy, just so I can burn a little bit more fees. So you can see this one is just 2 cents and this one is 7 cents. So I would just pick the one with the higher fees just for me to burn a little bit more, because I'm pretty sure it will be based on the amount of fees that we burn, just like the previous one that we had. So we're done, right? For bridges. Now, probably the hardest project that we will be doing, which is Meteora. Unfortunately, it is not something that I can tell you exactly how to do it, even though I do have some videos on how to get involved with Meteora. But it is one of these projects that you just need to start doing it and using it for you to understand the process. Like, you can watch 10,000 videos, but until you actually use some money, real funds, take 100 position, which by the way, I'm not exaggerating. Go ahead and take 100 position on Meteora, and for you to understand the process. It is not easy. You can lose some money, but that's why we should always start with something maybe like 10 bucks, 20 bucks, and try to understand the process. Right now, I'm not gonna say right now, but the last time that I checked, it was around 60,000 daily DLMM users, which is where we earn the majority of our fees. So the airdrop will be based on the amount of points that we have, which are 1,000 points for every dollar that we generate in fees. So every time we generate $1 in DLMM, we're gonna be getting 1,000 points. So you just try to rack up the total fees that you are generating from the platform. Why I'm super bullish on it? If you think about it, on Solana, the backbone of Solana is really Meteora, Jupiter, and also Pump Fund, right? The majority of the trading volume are coming from these platforms. Meteora only have generated more than $1.2 billion in fees. That's where Trump went for liquidity, Melania, and multiple big projects. So that's why Meteora, it is on top of the list. Then, so basically, if you go here, let's say you pick something like Jail's tool, which is a meme coin that I was providing some liquidity yesterday. You guys can see how much money I have generated, which is 163 bucks when it comes to fees. It is not easy, so that's why you should try to play with it. 20 bucks, replicate the process over and over, write down what you did right and what you did wrong, and just try to get better at it. And just continue to learn. Watch some videos. There are some really good threads on Twitter. Not myself, but there are some other people creating some threads. And just try to understand it. Just play with it. Because if you just look at videos, read about it, you will never understand the process. But this is a project that I'm super bullish. If I have to pick just one from this, it would probably be Meteora. And the last one, which is just a bonus, we have Eclipse. Quite easy. It is a blockchain using the Solana stack. What you need to do, which there are multiple things for you to do, you can just watch my previous videos. Supply some funds on Astro, which is a supplying and lending protocol. You're going to be earning some taps, some grass, which are the points, every hour. And then you can also LP with invariant. And the last one is just tap. If you want to go into it, just watch my previous video. I'm just mentioning what are the projects that I would add into my top priorities. So if we do the math here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 projects. I'm not adding Jumper because we don't know if they're going to do an airdrop. So do the math. $10,000 and you receive 8 airdrops. It is not really that much per project. It is not. And even let's say that 3 projects, they don't do the airdrop or the airdrop is quite bad. We receive 5 airdrops. That is just $2,000 per airdrop. That is not big. I have received way more than that on multiple airdrops. So that's why I do think by using this list, and obviously you can add more to it if there are some projects that you do like, I'm pretty sure that we can get close to that amount. Obviously, I'm saying pretty sure like I'm talking to myself because again, as I said, I'm not your mom, I'm not your dad. Please don't do what I'm currently doing because you can lose everything. So yeah, that's my list. When it comes to the amount of money, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to get that question, I don't think you need a crazy amount of funds. So for example, Avantis, Paradex, and Hyperliquid, it is something with $1,000 you should probably be able to provide to supply some funds and also take some trades. Even $1,000 divided into the 3 should be good. Obviously, the more the better. If you can do 1,000, 1,000, and 1,000 would be even better because you can purchase a little bit more hype, supply more funds on Paradex. Yes, but in the end, just do what you can with what you have. When it comes to Fragmetric, if you have some Solana that you're not currently using, or maybe JTO, you might be a holder of it, you can just go ahead and stake it and wait for an airdrop. You know, you're getting some points. You're also getting some APY, which is more or less between 8 to 10%, depending the token. And you're also participating for an airdrop. When it comes to bridges, you saw the prices, 3 cents, 7 cents. It is not that expensive. You will need like 10 transactions for you just to burn $1. So it is not super expensive. This is something that anybody can actually do, even if you have just $100 to your name. Meteora, yes, it is a little bit more complex, but also you can make some money. But as I said, you will lose money before you make money, unfortunately. And last one is Eclipse. This is one that is kind of 50-50. I don't think if you have $100, you should just go and do Eclipse. I'm sorry, but I don't think so. Probably close to $1,000 just for you to have enough funds on chain, so you can have a little bit on Astro Finance, a little bit on Invariant. Then you can pay for the tap, which are like $16 or something like that for every 100,000 taps. So yeah, something like 500 just to start. And if you're able to add some more, I do recommend that to myself, obviously, because I'm not recommending it to you. So yeah, that's the list. As usual, we'll add the links in the description. If you need a guide for each one of them, I do have a video, so just check in the links or just type DeFi Chronicles and then add the name of the project and you should get a guide. Any questions, any doubts, just let me know. Peace out.